guess what? Now you can disappear to Barbados for a month because you're not having, you may have to turn the crank on those boxes every now and then, but then they're just going to keep running.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Excellent. Yeah. And we want to be careful on that car thing because we may have a couple of Porsche guys on here tonight listening. And
yep.
So we gotta.
And notice I said that like, some people can do this. Not there's exceptions to all these.
So speaking of cars and vehicles, so you've kind of chosen the vehicle of
multifamily. That's right. That's right.
And so why I know you've talked a little bit about that, but why have you guys really focused on the multifamily?
Yeah.
What have you seen in that is going to help you grow that generational wealth?
Yeah, so I mentioned briefly before, right? We got to buy these black boxes. And if you can find a black box that A, kicks off cash flow, B, appreciates in value, so one day I can sell it for more money than I bought it, and C, secret option C, has tremendous tax benefits. That means I don't pay tax on that money, right? What more can you ask for, So multifamily, these are apartments. My company redevelops apartment communities. That's the simplest way to say it, right? And now these may be troubled communities, or they may be communities that just aren't performing at pinnacle operation, right? But whatever it is, we fix it, And the beautiful thing about these black boxes is they're valued by how much of that money it's printing off, right? If it's broken and it's not printing off any money, you can probably buy it pretty cheap. And if I go fix it up, I can sell it to someone for a lot higher dollar value for that income stream, right? There are whole markets for buying income streams. Why multifamily? So back when we were talking about that second train of the family portfolio and figuring out how to scale and things of that sort, we discovered a few things. One, we know we have baby boomers generation, right? This was previously, it may still be, I guess, the largest generation on the planet that are moving into retirement. Many of them have been crushed by 2 recessions, and their retirement income will never recover, right? So a lot of them have said, the heck with the burden of home ownership. They're starting to downsize and go into, that's why you're seeing the senior housing trend come up. This is not rest homes. This is, how multifamily housing design and optimized for, people as they become advanced in age. And then you have the millennial group who came out of college in the midst of some of the worst recessions we've ever seen, right? Some of them have seen 2 of them right now, the older millennials, right? And so, but these people have learned that they don't want to spend all their time at the office. They value experiences, and they value, mobility, freedom of mobility over things. And so now you have the bulk of our population that is desiring to rent for the most part at this point. And so let's start when you're looking at other asset classes in real estate. So in real estate, you have single family, all right, your typical house. You have multifamily, that's your apartments. You have commercial office, that's where we are right now, right? You have hospital or medical, right? Medical office. You have mobile home parks, industrial, like big warehouses like Amazon. So you look at all these asset classes, and for us, we're like, well, what supply and demand drives everything. The markets are telling us that demand is there for rental housing. Okay, well, let's look at supply. Basic economic lesson. If supply and demand is out of balance, that's where you want to put your money, right? Yeah. Demand is through the roof. Supply, you start to look at the supply pipeline. Even though you see, what's the new city bird of Nashville is the crane, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe we're not that way here, but you start to see that we aren't pulling enough permits, and for new building starts, and we haven't for the last 10 years. And probably if we keep the highest rate we've done for the next, I forget the number, maybe it was 5 to 7 years, we still won't catch up. We have a fundamental supply and demand imbalance for a long time. Yeah. That's where I want to put my money, because if demand is going up and supply is going down, start to think what happened. Let's talk about toilet paper for a second, right? Mm-hmm. What happened in COVID, right? Yeah. Everyone all of a sudden thought they needed toilet paper, and price went up. Their supply went down because factories shut down. Demand went up, price went up. That's exactly why. Yeah. And so when you couple that, that market situation, with the product.
Yeah.
That's why multifamily.
Yeah.
You know?
Excellent. Well, good deal. So what I want to kind of cover next with you, Chad, is, so I've seen some of your, video on, whether it's on LinkedIn or Facebook, of when you guys have, purchased some property and you've done some drone footage, and then you've shown some of the renovation and some of those things. And I know you stress, people, these are people's lives,
Yes.
right, as tenants. And so, and I've heard you kind of use the phrase, you're in the people business. So kind of explain to our folks that are listening tonight, what do you mean by being in the people business? Because I love this concept.
I love it too. And this part is incredibly important. And so go back to that soul sucking job I told you about, where I was in the steal from people business, right? I was very good at taking away from people, right? In this business, we're so fortunate. Like, we found a way to all be on the same side of the table, right? We go and buy less than perfect apartment communities. Okay. We bring to the table private equity to do it, because there, for every opportunity, there is money seeking a return, right? We have been able to attract individuals who want to place money with us so that it will grow, right? The more money we can aggregate, the bigger the property, the more secure the investment is. So we have the opportunity to buy these properties, sit on the same side of the table as our investors, and make them grow while we grow. Well, guess what? Our customer is the resident, right? And notice I don't call them tenants, I call them residents, because these are people. We buy apartment communities that are dilapidated. They have been maybe not renovated or updated for 40, 50 years, right? And maybe management is less than desirable, right? They just haven't been cared for, right? Well, you don't take pride in the thing you own. Those residents aren't going to take pride in it either. These apartment communities are where mothers cook their children dinner. It's where kids do their homework at the kitchen table. It's where, people come home and play at the little playground amenity that we have, right? These are people's homes. These are people's lives. And so we have the opportunity to come in and buy a troubled building. We inject new capital into it, refresh it. We do quality work. There's no slumlord policy here, right? Like, we will not accept that. And so we really invest in our communities, and we structure the deals so that we're going to put money in and make it nice, quality, safe, yet affordable living, right?
Yep.
So these residents are able to benefit from something that's slightly below market. We're not going for the luxury granite countertop stuff. It's not what we do. We buy the workforce housing stuff, generally people who will be renters for life, right? They might buy a house, but mostly not, and we develop something that they can take pride in and they can call home. And you know what? Then you start to get the longevity of tenant. You start to get, I just broke my own rule of calling it that. You get the longevity of resident, right? To where, they become loyal, they take pride in the property and they stay. So when you think about all that, yes, I buy real estate. Yes, that's my vehicle, but the people are what make it worth it and B, happen. Because without the people, there is no revenue stream.
So kind of going back to what Lauren was talking about, it's a mindset for you guys, right?
It is.
It's a mindset of, this is what we want to do with this property.
Right.
We're in the people business. So the nice thing is, I think you have a nice team, meaning your partners, who all have that same mindset.
That's right. That's right.
Was that difficult to find? Was that easier to just say, hey, we started working with, this person or this investor, and we found out, they had that mindset? Or did you go through kind of interviewing and, being very careful on who you partnered with to make sure they had that right mindset or the same mindset?
Absolutely. And I think Lauren touched on this before, right? We don't work with people we don't want to work with, right? We've done that enough in our life, right? We don't have to, right? We don't have to accept every investor, every partner, every deal that comes in. We do our best to, so the core team, by the way, yes, when we were forming the core team at Quattro Capital, we all met by chance, right? We had the mindset of what we wanted to do. We wanted to redevelop safe, quality, and affordable homes, right? And the best story here is, we all met. Well, three of us are family, so some of us met a long time ago, but the rest of us met at a conference. We were at a conference with like-minded people,
Yeah.
learning about how to grow in this space. One of my partners, Dr. Aaron Hudson, was up on stage getting an award for having bought a, umpteen $1 million property in Houston, Texas, and how that was going. And she just laid it on her heart. She talked about, she mentioned a passion of building homes in Belize. Part of it, we'll talk about philanthropy too, right? She mentioned that passion of hers, and just, laid on her heart and said, and for anyone who will throw in $5,000, I'll match it. And just, I think there were several people that raised their hands, and they went and built several houses in Belize, but one of them was my partner, Kim. Another one was my now partner, Maurice. They all got together and started talking, and that started the common mindset thing. Yeah. Right. Several months later, kept in touch, wound up doing one deal together, then two deals, then three deals, then five, and then, so on. And eventually we just decided to formalize and become a boutique private equity company, and not just a group of investors, because it works so well.
Right. So before we get into the philanthropy part of it, so with your group, so do you have, because I know some may have, this person or these couple of people are over acquisition. These folks handle all the underwriting. These, do you have that in yours, or how have you guys structured your group?
Absolutely. And you guys, you can do it all, but should you, right? So there's a lot of plates to spin in this business. And, one of our coach, Trevor McGregor, has mentioned the key to scaling is putting aces in their places. And you need to have a primary role and a secondary role, maybe even tertiary, right? Well, for me, the resident engineering nerd and failed rocket scientist, I guess you could say, right?
Not failed. You didn't fail.
I lead the acquisitions team. The numbers are kind of my strong suit. I know how things go together. So, dissecting a building is very easy. It comes naturally for me. So I do lead a team of alliance partners on that front who are, constantly working the phones and pulling in new acquisition opportunities, working in developing markets. And then, we have, so that's my primary role, Dr. Hudson.